So coming up in this video, I go all the way to Portland in Dorset to do a sea watch on a big wind. I then go to Martin Down in Hampshire to look for quail. And then all the way to Arn in Dorset again to look for a redback shrike. So watch this video to see how I get on. Right, so today the weather's not looking good at all. There's going to be wind and rain coming from the southwest. So I am going to the southwest. Yeah, I'll be heading to Portland Bill to see if that's bringing in any seabirds out at sea that are being blown closer to shore. So I'll be sitting with a scope in the wind and rain, see what I can find. Well, here I am at Portland Bill. It's not raining, it's actually sunny, but it is definitely windy. Unfortunately, the wind has moved into a more westerly direction rather than a southwesterly. It's still southwesterly, but more westerly than southwesterly. So I'm going to go to the obelisk now, try and find some shelter there, hunker down with my scope and see what I can find. So it's definitely windy here, but it's actually proving quite fruitful. I've just added Arctic skewer and there are quite a lot of birds out here. If I can just suffer the wind and the scope shake, can work out what they are. Yeah, the birds have gone over into an area where there's poor light, so it's difficult to pick them out at the moment. But I'll keep trying. Really pleased with that Arctic skewer. So that puts me on 249 species, one more for the big 250. That would be amazing. A few birds coming in a bit closer now, so hopefully that will give me an opportunity to pick up another one. We'll see. Well, definitely having some really good birds outside of that Arctic skewer. There's loads of kittiwake out there, fulmar, Manx shearwater, loads of gannets. Yeah, really good numbers of seabirds. Unfortunately, they've drifted back into the area of poor light and a bit further out, so they're hard to pick out in the camera. But yeah, not a bad start. An addition of 2 Balearic shearwater for the day list. That's really cool. That was a year tick for me last time I was here. Balearic shearwater has just come really close to the bill. It didn't stay long, so I didn't have time to get the camera on it, but it was a fantastic viewing. Best viewing I've ever had of Balearic shearwater in the UK. Yeah, I've definitely had a mix of Balearic and Manx shearwaters going past here. It's quite difficult to tell in the camera which one's which, but through the scope it's a little easier. Well, bird number 250 is finally in. It's only the second time I've ever seen this bird from land. I'm absolutely chuffed with this. European storm petrel. Awesome. What a bird. As someone who loves seabirds, European storm petrel is a particularly brilliant bird for me. Yeah, reminds me a little bit of the New Zealand storm petrels. Yeah, fantastic bird to see from land. I'll probably see them later on the Scilly Isles later this year, but yeah, there's something special about finding your own here at Portland. Well, that's been pretty hectic. 3 hours, 20 minutes staring through the scope out at sea, but it's been worth it for 2 year ticks. Storm petrel is a fantastic bird. They just dance on the water, and in fact in New Zealand we used to call them Jesus birds for that exact reason. They just sort of like, you know, dip their toes and almost look like they're walking on the water. It's just a fantastic bird if you ever do get to see. Hopefully I'll be able to see them a lot closer up when I do the pelagic in the Scilly Isles in August. But yeah, what a day it's been, and still a bit of time left. Well, I'm gonna see if I can find somewhere to get a coffee and warm up for a little bit before I do any more birding. Looks like this place ahead might be the place. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's cold out there in the wind for that amount of time, and I feel like my eyes are all distorted because I've just been spending my whole time with this eye closed and this eye looking through the scope. So still trying to get my bearings, but yeah, very happy with that. Going to sit in the car and do my eBird list now, and then I might pull in at the Portland Observatory and then head to Ferrybridge. Those 2 birds have put me from 6th to 5th in the eBird table. which is cool. It's nice to be climbing one place again, and back up to that 5th position, which I've been in and out of for a couple of weeks now. Well, it's still very windy. I've got my coffee to try and warm up, and now I'm just off to the Fleet ferry bridge to have a quick look around to see if there's any interesting waders about. Well, there's a couple of dunlin about, a few pied wagtails, meadow pipit. I'm not going to get the scope out, it's just a bit windy and the tide's right up. So yeah, I'm not sure it's really worth it. I might move on and try somewhere else. So it's still quite windy, but I'm now here in Litchett Bay because I'm trying again for this osprey. Now, anyone who's been watching my videos this year has known that I have tried for this bird on 3 previous occasions at this spot, and every time I've been here I've not seen osprey, and it's rained. Now, it's not raining at the moment, although it's forecast to rain. The tide's a bit higher as well, which is good for feeding. And also I've been reading a little bit about how ospreys are actually quite active when it's windy because they can get the uplift for flying, which is interesting. So yeah, conditions then, according to all that information, which ChatGPT has just told me, are good. So hopefully I don't miss it this time. Last time I was here, I missed this bird literally by 5 minutes. So yeah, fingers crossed I get it this time. But either way, it's a bird that I'm expecting to catch up with at some point. In fact, next week I'm in Scotland, which I'm really looking forward to. That will be the biggest trip I've done all year, that Scotland trip, where I go to the Cairngorms, which will be, I'm just so excited for. But anyway, the mission now is to get this osprey, which would take me up to 251 species if I was to get there. So yeah, let's see if I can find it. Well, it's definitely windy. It's probably even windier than it was earlier. So hopefully that is actually a good sign, because I'm a bit skeptical whether wind is good for ospreys. I guess it kind of makes sense. Well, so far it's just Canada geese and black-headed gulls, a few distant oyster catchers. And that is all I've seen, barring hearing a few blackcaps and smaller birds. Oh, there's a carrion crow, a few carrion crows about too. But yeah, it's very windy, and my plan to try and find osprey doesn't seem to be working so far. So I was reading up about that osprey in the wind. Yeah, it does sound like it is quite good, but it does alter their behaviour as well. So while it might sound good, it could mean that because this is a regular spot that I'm at now, it might mean that it's gone somewhere else because of the wind. Well, that's how it feels anyway, because I've been here quite a while and I haven't seen an osprey yet. But it is on my way home, so I thought I might as well stop anyway. Well, it's starting to rain, as it has done every time I've been here. I've also just looked at bird guides as well. Supposedly when I was at Portland, there was a flock of 12 bee-eaters that flew over. It wasn't at the obelisk, it was further into Portland, just flying south. So yeah, that would have been shortly after I left, which is a shame. I did think about staying there just because of the big winds and continuing with my sea watch. I think I was getting a little bit of what I call scope eye, sort of struggling to concentrate after a while, but yeah, maybe I should have continued. But anyway, I've done well today. I'm on 250 species, so I'm not complaining at all. But bee-eater will have to wait for another day, I think. There's a tree out here that I keep thinking looks just particularly good as a perching spot for osprey. But it doesn't matter how many times I check it, there's not an osprey there. Yeah, I purposely came here on a high tide today because last time I was here, when I missed it by 5 minutes, they said, oh, well, the tide's falling. So plus it had caught a fish right in front of us. Well, right in front of the people who were there before me, and was probably going to go off to eat it, so it wouldn't fly for a while. But yeah, here at high tide now, which is supposedly the best time for them to feed. I'm not sure they exist. Well, I'm thinking about ospreys in the wind. Surely they must exude a lot more energy. So yeah, I'm not quite sure whether that was correct, that they quite like the wind. Let me know in the comments if you know, if you think or know anything about how ospreys behave in the wind and whether it's good or bad for seeing them. So I might need all the tips I can get to try and get this bird in the end. I thought it would be a lot easier than it has been this year. But admittedly, I've only been to this spot and there are plenty of other spots that I could be looking for them, which are probably a lot more reliable. But, you know, this is always on my route home and it's a really nice spot to just stand and watch birds. So, yeah, this is where I'm looking. Right, 5 more minutes. And if an osprey hasn't landed right here and caught a fish on the water, I'm going home. 5 minutes, okay, 5 minutes. Well, it's been 15 minutes since I did my last update, and right here in front of me, I can't quite believe it, there's no osprey at all, so I think it's time to go home. But I will be back, so keep watching this video for more bird watching adventures later this week. So, it's the evening, and we have come to Martin Down to look for a bird that keeps eluding me. Now, I keep looking for this bird at early morning and I haven't seen or heard it yet. So I'm coming out in the evening, which is another good time to hear this bird call or sing. And it's been reported here on and off for the last week or so. So fingers crossed, I finally get my quail. So I'm getting really close to one of the spots where quail has been heard this week. It's a bit windy, unfortunately. I was hoping it'd be less windy, but it's raining all week, so this is literally the only window I've got. I'm listening very carefully. I've only ever heard quail twice in the UK and seen it once, just to give you some context of how difficult this challenge might be. Well, we've been here just over half an hour and still no sign or hearing of the quail, which is unfortunate. I was hoping this would be quite a reliable spot actually, because there's been quite a few sightings this week, or there's been quite a few records this week, not sightings. But yeah, no luck. Well, unfortunately no quail today. That's going to have to wait for another time, but I'm going to keep trying and I'm not going to give up. Well, this morning I've got a fairly big day planned, but for the moment I'm back here trying once more at Martin Down for those quail. It's definitely a bird that's given me a few problems this year. Maybe I'll have to do a little dance if I do manage to hear one. But yeah, I'm going to Arn a bit later on in Dorset, and this is on the way, so I thought why not call in here fairly early morning and see what I can find. See if the quail are going to call for me. Right, they have been for lots of other people over the last week. Let's go and have a look. This place is a beautiful place of grassland. It's really not good for hay fever. I feel pretty awful. Hay fever's definitely high. I think it's all the sun and rain that's been coming in the last couple of weeks. So struggling to sleep. But anyway, that's enough moaning. I'm looking for quail, I'm out bird watching, I'm happy. So I've just spoken to a friend of mine who's been here since 5 AM and he has not heard quail either. That's really not a good sign. But when it's been reported over the last week or so, it has been singing at around 10:30 AM. So I really think it's just a matter of luck, whether it's here, whether it's singing. Could just be hiding in the grass, not singing, and then you just never know. But you've got much more chance of hearing it if you're actually on the site, which is where I am now. my lesser whitethroat again. Probably the same one as I had the other day. That rattle. Well, I'm pretty sure my quail watching or quail searching hours have now exceeded 24 hours in total this year, and still no quail. But it's a bird that's going to hang around for a lot more of the summer, so I've still got plenty of time to spend multiple hours in fields getting hay fever early morning or at dusk searching for these things. Right, so after dipping on that quail again, I'm now here at Arn, and this is where yesterday redback shrike was seen. There was a 0 report later last night, and there's been no reports this morning, but I thought it's worth checking out anyway, so here goes. I'm not sure whether that's coming out, but there's a firecrest just singing just up here. It's very high pitched, there's a bit of wind around, so amazing. I think I got a little video of the firecrest hovering, which is awesome. That's the second smallest bird in Europe, and I think it's one of my absolute favourite birds. One of the birds as a kid I always wanted to see because it was so much rarer than goldcrest, so naively I'd check every single goldcrest when I was younger by sight, didn't know the calls, and it took me a long time to find one. I think I was in my mid-20s before I first got my first ever firecrest, and now they seem to be a lot more common. I've seen loads this year. So yeah, such a pretty bird with that long supercilium eye stripe, to what I normally call it. Yeah, such a cool bird to see, and see it hover right in front of me like that and sing is spectacular. Supposedly now I'm in one of the sites where the redback shrike was seen, where it was first seen actually, and then later on in the afternoon yesterday it was seen in another spot that I'll go to after this, assuming I'm not successful. So yeah, it's now like nearly midday, and there's been no reports this morning, and there was a no sign last night. I imagine there's been quite a lot of birders looking for this thing. So yeah, that is unfortunate, but it does have quite a wide ranging area, a lot of shrikes do, so it's the sort of thing that while it perches on top of things and is normally quite obvious, it could move around, so hopefully it reappears while I'm here. Just up here, I think I can hear a bullfinch. Can't see it, but I can hear it. Just flown over my head because it was calling the other side of the path a minute ago, and now it's flown off again. Well, I'm here now at the spot where it was seen last night and no sign. I've spent about 40 minutes there chatting to people. There's been loads of people out, and yeah, I think this bird may have gone. Well, I've just been doing a little bit more research into where the redback shrike was last seen last night, and the last report is interestingly seen a bit further down the path I'm walking down now, sitting on top of a dead horse. So I guess if I can find a dead horse, that's where it was moved to last. I'm not sure how well that's known either, because that's not on bird guides, that's just on the latest eBird report last night. So yeah, keep your eye out for a dead horse. Well, I think the weather's turning in, the rain is coming, and it's picked up quite heavily with some wind, so I'm going to make a move. But it's been a really good week. Got to 250 bird species, which is fantastic. And yeah, if you enjoy watching these videos, then please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Cheers.